Hey everybody, welcome to WYR Reforging. My name is Doug, and I am joined by a few special guests here. Introducing Craig and Kelly.
Hi!
Craig is back from another show. I don't know if you remember that episode. It was a little while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've been on 2 of them now.
Yep. Sweet. So we're going to talk about an event that Craig went to, a small local event with his Daughters of Khaine. I'm going to put you under the microscope and ask you about Daughters of Khaine quite a bit.
I like to pretend I'm an expert, so that will work.
Exactly, yes. That's all we do here. We just pretend. We pretend in games. We pretend we're experts. It's all good. And yeah, so as every one of these shows, I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera to facing down, but we're going to paint along. So I can see you're both hard at work. Tell me what you are working on.
I am currently painting my 3rd cauldron because I feel like I needed one of each. Mm-hmm. And she's working on her Neferata.
Oh, okay. Neferata. Is it built and assembled, or just is it painting process now?
It's this is where it's at right now.
Okay.
She's not got Neferata on it yet, so. And then she immediately regretted me putting it together for her because of all the nooks and crannies in it.
I think I had a Neferata, and I liked it except for painting her hat. Was oddly specific thing. There's a lot of little bits to it.
There really is, yeah.
It's quite a bit of fun. Cool. Well, if you're watching the screen, I am painting a bunch of Ungor because I just found out today that I can go to a tournament on the 29th. So that'll actually be my first full tournament. Wow. Since I wasn't able to finish the last one. Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, so I'm taking, it's a 2,000 point game. I'm taking like 1,600 points of Beasts of Chaos for the first time, and then 400 points Allies, Slaves to Darkness, so I don't have to paint everything from scratch.
Yeah, so, I don't like bringing unpainted models to any game.
I know, I try not to. But it's okay. It wouldn't be the end of the world if I did. It's not paint. It's not a requirement, like 3 colors minimum isn't, but you know.
Yeah.
Got to stay on brand. So that is YouTube. No, Craig, you said before we get started into the main topic where you're telling stories like that, you had some shout outs you wanted to do.
Yes, I would like to thank Jesse and Josh for running and putting together that last tournament we were just at. They watch your show and they love it, so I want to surprise them with that. And and my friends John and Angela have a podcast where they talk about D&D board games and Warhammer called The Cantrip. If anybody wants to go check it out for any expert listening.
Yeah, if you give me a link to that or whatever, or even the store that you guys do your events at, I'll put those in the show notes for the future.
Yeah, I'll send those to you right after the show.
No, it's not. I'm not gonna do it later. Don't worry about it. Okay, and let's see. So as far as games played, normally I just talk about games that I did recently. Yours are going to be related to your tournament thing. For me, I don't think I've played anything recently. This last weekend was like that kind of like not hobby work where I cleaned my entire hobby space and built a little shelf for myself, but no actual models were painted. So, or no games were played. I'm sorry. Yeah. How about you guys? So, any games outside of your tournament thing?
We played one. I tried to play a game at another store and nobody showed up, and we played a game together right before the tournament.
Okay.
Where she kicked my butt because we were trying out different lists.
Okay.
See how we go, and I did poorly. Did not play the objective at all. You stumped me.
Did you delete the army and she won on scenario, or like?
Yeah, that's pretty much how that happened.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay, so we're just gonna jump right in because we have like an hour and a half, and there's 2 main subjects for tonight: is Daughters of Khaine, and then also we're gonna talk about some flesh eater courts towards the end here because nobody talks about them enough on the internet. But so tell me about, like, explain this event that you went to, because we talked about it when I had Jack on a little bit. You were in the chat asking questions about like 1,000. Isn't it 1,000 point? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was a 1,000 point tournament, and I brought Marathi. Actually, I can pull up the list right now. Which I was like, oh, that's just mean to do, but I'll let you guys know I did lose a game because I brought Marathi.
Okay.
Are you still breaking up? No, okay.
No, I kind of broke up there for a little bit, but you're good. You're good.
Okay. Brought Marathi, a Hag Queen, 20 Witch Elves, 5 Doomfire Warlocks, and Life Takers. And then had 20 extra points.
Okay, so I want to ask you. I'll ask you how all those things did in a little bit, but how many rounds in the event were there?
3 and up.
Do what?
We keep
Breaking up.
I missed everything you said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can hear you on my end. So, how many rounds in the event were there?
There was 3. Only 6 people showed up.
Okay.
And 3 of them were
Sylvaneth.
Sylvaneth. Very diverse.
So diverse.
Nobody knew what anybody was bringing really, so it was a surprise for everybody. It was great. I think one person played against Sylvaneth all 3 times.
Oh, that's a shame. Are they different kinds of Sylvaneth, or are they all kind of the same? Oh, maybe we're breaking up again. Were they all the different kinds of Sylvaneth?
Not really, no.
Okay. No, that's cool. It just happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does. It was my first time playing against them, so that was interesting. I watched Kelly play against them once. Now,
Kelly, were you in this event as well?
But they didn't really
Force and go offensive.
Yeah. I didn't know they could summon as much as they could.
Yeah.
Right on. So how tell me about your game 1? Like, what was your opponent playing? What we know your list, obviously. You just said it, but
yeah. I was playing against a Sylvaneth player. They had 2 Tree Lords. And it was just, I forgot the scenario name, but we both had an objective, and whoever had both objectives by the start of turn 3 won. And I was pretty much sniping them out with Marathi, trying to just keep them back, and he starts summoning the Wildwoods over in my area. I was like, no. And
what was were you guys playing battle plans or just kill each other?
Battle plans.
Okay.
I had an objective, he had one, and we had to go try to take the other.
Okay.
Yeah. I pretty much just sat on my objective till turn 3, just sniping him out with spells and range. And then as soon as they summoned like Wildwoods over on my side twice, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to move to go take his, because I was trying to just get him to run over to me, have the life takers drop in, and it didn't work.
Okay.
Because he just stayed in the woods, so I wasted my Doomfires and had them go and tie everything up and sent most of my army over there. I wiped out his little Dryads. That's how I lost him. Because Marathi counts as 1 model compared to their 10.
Yeah, that's
No, that's a thing.
That's how that happened. It was a fun game. I learned a lot. Like, my Witch Elves could do nothing to that Tree Lord Ancient, but the 2-up save re-rolling 1s. I was like, oh, well, there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've only run into that once, and it was when I was playing Mark from Rerolling Ones. This is before he had his channel. We were just sitting around and chatting, and we were just playing a friendly game, and he put a Tree Lord in the woods, and I had a bunch of Blood Reavers going after him, and after like 2 turns of just nothing happening, because how do you beat a 2-up with a reroll for armor? He was like, how about I just walk out of the woods? And we're like, no, you'll kill yourself. And he's like, yeah, this is no fun though. I was like, okay, oh, I can't argue that. This is in fact no fun.
No, there's like the guy, that was the first time he said he ever played Sylvaneth. He just read the book like 20 times. So there you go. Well, good on you. You knew it pretty well.
You did good.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. So so that was round 1, right?
Yeah, that was round 1.
Okay, and how about round 2? Who'd you
Round
play?
2, I played against Seraphon, which
Oh,
I really lucked out on.
Okay, let me ask you an honest question.
Yeah.
Did your Seraphon player complain about how bad Seraphon are?
No, he really liked them.
There it is. That guy's a unicorn.
It's a unicorn.
We have 3 Seraphon players, well, people that dabble in it, and they all like Seraphon. Kelly's even dabbling in it now, too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's it's an army that's always tempted me, but we'll get back to that in a second. So go ahead and talk about your game. What was the mission?
It was the one where the meteors crash down randomly, and you have to go grab them on turn 3.
Okay.
And then get points. Your points double every turn.
Yep.
I
think it's Star Strike. I think you're thinking of.
Yeah, I don't remember the name because we didn't actually talk. We're setting up real fast and everything. We didn't really talk about the names of the scenarios, the rules.
That's all good.
Yeah. So the first 2 turns we sat there and we did nothing. Like we might as well just wait for the meteors to come down. And I almost took out his Salon with Marathi because of her long range spells. So that was fun. And then he finally teleported his Salon away. Well, on the start of his second turn. So that was pretty uneventful, but it's great because I usually turn her into a snake form right away.
Right.
Testing out her spells. Then after that, they came down and 2 of them landed right in my control. It was great. Yeah. And then one landed over in his area. I was like, well, I'm not going to you. You got to come to me. That Engine of the Gods could not roll to summon anything in the whole game. Lucked out there. He summoned in what is it? Not a Carnifex.
I don't really know the names.
No.
Is it the big dinosaur the guy riding the back?
Yeah.
Other dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I probably described half the army, but I think it's a Carnosaur.
Yeah, Carnosaur. Summoned in a Carnosaur to help him out, but I threw up my Witch Elves up front just to take the damage and just hold them back. So I just keep racking up points to be way ahead of them. He ended up summoning the little lizard guys behind and took over the objective. So I ran Witch Elves back, took them out. And I just went on points. I turned Marathi into a giant snake, almost killed his Engine of the Gods, sniped out his Salon because he just had it hiding in a corner. I was like, well, before this game is over, I just want to kill it.
I'm over here. Okay.
I know where I'm sorry how annoying it was. And yeah, that was the end of that.
Cool.
I feel like he lost just because this Engine of the Gods did not help him at all.
Yeah, I mean, 1,000 points. I feel like that's a bet heavy to win heavy kind of thing.
Yeah, no, he did great in his other game. He won pretty much right away because of what he was able to summon. So.
Okay. Dig it. And let's go straight into round 3.
We're back.
Yeah, we keep glitching out on us. Go ahead and straight into round 3.
Round 3 was against Kelly, actually, and it was just an all-out whoever kills the most points win.
Okay.
I wiped out her whole army. Yeah. I wiped out her whole army. Got a major victory. Because Marathian snake form is vicious.
She's dumb. She can only take like 3 wounds per round or whatever.
Yep.
It's dumb.
It's hard. It's one of those things you gotta like. Obviously, you can't ignore her. At the same time, you can't just keep throwing everything into her because you have diminishing returns every time you do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get that. So overall, what were your thoughts of how Daughters of Khaine performed at 1,000 points?
I liked it. I thought it was fun. I kind of challenged myself by taking Marathi because I didn't really have as many units to use for objectives.
Yeah.
I kind of lucked out on the second scenario because of that. if they didn't fall into my lap, I would have had a lot. I think I would have had a harder time because I wouldn't have the units to control anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the army. For like synergies to work, you have to invest heavy on like a certain way you're gonna play. If you're gonna do all your witch elves, you have to invest in all their buffs. You have to get the witch, you have to get the hag queen, the slaughter queen, and anybody else that probably the blood rat Medusa, so she can cast at least Mind Razor on them. It's so for 1,000 points, they're pretty fun to go and play. I tried doing that with her before the tournament.
Totally.
There's one rat there, but they're fun. It's and fast, but if you end up on the losing side of it, like one battle, you're just out because you don't have many to work with if you go from Wrathy or if they take out your heroes.
Trying to think. That's a good point. Do you what temple do you usually run?
I was using the one, I don't remember. It's the -1 to shooting because I kept getting shot a lot back in first edition. But that has not been an issue in second edition at all. So I'm switching over to Hagnar now.
Okay. Yeah, I hear that quite a bit. Hagnar's awesome. I wonder, so you said you noticed a decrease in shooting, and this is just super off topic, but why do you think that is? Because I noticed it too.
I don't know. I thought with like with the Stormcast and their ballistas with the easy to build and stuff, it'd be more prevalent. But it just, I don't know. People don't seem to be liking it. Like I'm about ready to build my Kniari as the heart renders instead of the life takers for that reason, just to get more shooting.
Yeah, I went and picked up Chaos Marauder on Horseman just because they can throw a javelin, and that 8-inch javelin is the only ranged weapon in an entire Slaves to Darkness faction, basically. and they're awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Going back to Daughters of Khaine.
No, I think it's weird too. I don't understand it.
Well, like, so I was listening to Warhammer Weekly, and which is just another show that talk about meta and competitiveness with that. And one of the things that one of the hosts said was, it's easy to look at Daughters of Khaine who are rocking the tournament scene right now as being like, oh, they need a points adjustment like that. But it's like maybe points wise, the company's saying like, how come we point these things with the idea that shooting should be prevalent or at least used, but it doesn't seem to be. So I've been thinking about that all day because I watched it this morning.
I've only watched like 2 episodes of theirs, but I'll have to catch that Daughters of Khaine one.
Oh, it was just the one today. We were talking about the FAQ and how people were not super pumped about it. It just didn't address a lot of things that people were hoping they would. And so that was one of them. The Daughters of Khaine need to be toned down in many people's eyes. But
yeah, I argue with that on the internet quite a bit.
I get that. Here's the thing. Like, I think armies just are very different at 1,000 points. Like, what's your typical point level you play at?
We usually do a slow grow or a Path to Glory, typically, because we're always trying to get new people in at the store. But if it's like me or Kelly, we usually play at like 2,000 points at home.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but also, like, are you guys the kind of folks to like super tune your armies for extreme effectiveness and all that stuff?
No. We typically aim for fun, but I look at those like competitive lists because that's something I'd like to try one day. And I don't know. With my experience playing this, as soon as you just got to focus on the leaders in Daughters of Khaine, and then they're useless. At least with witch elves, I haven't really played with the snake ladies too much because I'm not that big on them. But like, I would have you wipe out my leaders in the last few games. That'd be without the blood cauldron and nobody buffing them. It's just a 6-up save with a 6-up feel no pain.
Right.
Yeah, and they'd get 3 attacks.
Okay. No, that makes perfect sense. So let's see. So if someone in the chat asked about recommending Daughters of Khaine as a first army. Tell me your thoughts about it, because if you're playing 1,000 points, that's a lower I see some head shaking.
Yeah.
This is my first army, and it's so expensive. Like just just the buy-in alone is ridiculous. Right, the daughters are still $60. Like the witch elves are $60. The snakes, I mean, at least at the store I was at, they're like $45, which isn't bad, but you're getting 5 of them. Right. I mean, there's cheaper ways to like get in the game and play it to see if you like it first before you invest into daughters so far, like for your first army. Because if I didn't like this game, I would have been I would have been hurting because I already had it.
Really panned out for you then.
Yeah. I mean, I may not even like them. I just may have convinced myself I liked them.
Exactly, yeah.
Put into it.
Right on. As far as let's assume for a second that someone actually does like them and all that stuff like that, and like likes the game. What are some good places to start as far as like army building or really important? Because you mentioned before. I'm sorry, I'm backing up a little bit.
Right, you're fine.
It really works well if you pick one thing and lean into it, and I agree with you. So, what are the different things that you can lean into?
Well, you got the snakes, well, snake ladies. Not so much the archers because they're not really worth the points. But you get the bloodstock, not bloodstalkers. The names. See, that's how little I use them. I never. Blood sisters. Stalkers are the archers. The blood sisters, which you're kind of trading like their speed for more resiliency and staying longer.
Okay.
Which is pretty good. Which I guess that's really what you boil it down to. I think is, do you want to have like a glass cannon or something that has a little more staying power, fight power over it all? The life takers, well, the harpies in general are great just for like objective grabbing or getting in the way and just stopping people from charging the units you want to keep protected.
Which are those the ones with the throwing javelin, or is that just the melee focused ones?
I use both of them that way.
Okay.
More or less.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I because they don't last long. They got 1 wound each and a 5-up save because they got the buckler.
Oh yeah, no, they're not long for this world.
Yeah, but they make great, like especially against like these claw raiders. Which, by the way, nobody says that they're overpowered, but my cauldron almost got wiped off turn 1. Don't know how that's possible.
I think here's the thing. I think there's a class of army that is like top tier if you're just playing with your friends or a small local gaming group.
Yeah,
because that's what we were talking. We were talking about with the Rerolling Lanes guys. Like, I mean, exactly what you just said. Like some of the Beast Claw stuff, they can just like barf out like D6 mortal wounds, and you're just like, what? I can't handle that.
Yeah, like it was one thing like hearing him tell me, by the way, this will do this before we started the game, and then there was another thing like experiencing it. I'm like, whoa, what? Just stop. I rolled a 2. You die. Oh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't want to play the game anyway.
Total side note there, but I think there's something to be said for those armies.
Yeah, I'd like to see them played more. Like it was interesting. But but yeah, I like to use them for like armies that are heavy on. Well, I guess every army is heavy on melee now, but like I want to protect my daughters a little bit more because they're on an objective, or I had to go first, and I don't like going first. I like to get my charge off. Yeah, before they do. So that's how I use them. Or if I go second, I like to use them to grab just objectives. But that's really all they're good for. Great for objective games. So. And then you got the witch elves. I still say are better than the Sisters of Slaughter, but they're compared to the Sisters of Slaughter, is like 6-inch pile in, which is cool, but kind of situational.
When I read the Battle Tome and was doing the reviews for it, I fell in love with the Sisters of Slaughter more than the Witch Elves, and I don't know if I'm just crazy and I don't see it. Like obviously the Witch Elves are amazing, the whole army is amazing, but do you use the Sisters of Slaughter at all?
No. Well, I didn't. really fall in love with them like you did. I've
Cool.
proxied them in once with my witch elves to see how they are, but yeah, I just like the 6-inch pylon didn't really do much for me. Like,
for me, it was the idea of having a bunch of units that don't need to be in large horde style.
yeah,
Like you could just have 10 girls because they don't get any bonuses for having more dudes.
no.
So I thought there's some value in that in a horde army having 1 or 2 units that can go off and just be scary looking.
They are intimidating. I do like using their heads. But,
the masks are amazing looking.
Yeah, I threw for my second set of Doomfire Warlocks, which, by the way, Doomfire Warlocks should be played more. Their Doomfire spell is amazing.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about that next.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's you just get 10 of them and 6 mortal wounds when you successfully cast it. Right? That's it. It's great.
Now their thing is, do they get their spell gets better with how many models there are, right?
Yeah. You need 10. Yeah, just 10 for the max. Like, I don't see the reason why you go more than 10 in a unit, because that's where you hit the 6 mortal wounds, and then you get less than 10, but more than 5, it's a D6, and then it's a D3. So, like, the spell's really good. I think. It's come in handy.
I have I never played an army that had one, but I love when a unit is a wizard, like a collective group.
Unit, yeah.
I don't know why I like that so much. I think it's the coolest thing.
I think it's really cool, and I have fun. Like, they're pretty fun, like kit bash and stuff. I cut off one's arm and added a tentacle to it. Like they're like a wizard unit. Someone has to have some weird stuff going on, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, if you like, if you want to pile in and I guess get around, tie things up, Sisters of Slaughter would be pretty good.
Yeah.
But the Witch Elf's extra attack at it with the knives, it's
spicy.
Yeah.
I get why. I mean, there's power in having a ton of models too, not just that many attacks. Like we had that game on Real Ones where I just had 30 Grots that just stood out in the face of Gordrak and took it like a man. There's just too much to chew through. So like same thing with Witch Elves if you're doing the Hagnar thing for all kinds of saves and junk.
Yeah.
It totally makes sense.
But yeah, regardless, you're gonna need leaders. I did not realize how great Slaughter Queen was when I first started them. Like with your command ability, just have them go in and attack again. Like they were like, oh, whatever. I like my Hag Queen because she's holding a chalice. I'm picking her. But like, mistakes I've made would have come in handy a lot. I could have just attacked, get at least 30 attacks in.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. So if someone wanted to start Daughters of Khaine, where would you point them to start collecting?
I do not know when this Battleforce box offer is going to end, but I would grab that. Right now. I picked one up, which is like it's a great deal. Like the Daughters, the Witch Elves are $60 alone, and $45 for the Snake build, $45 each for the Harpies you get, and then $90 for the Blood Cauldron. Like, and you're only paying $170. That's a good deal. Great way to start, I think. And if you take technically, if you take the Bloodrack Medusa, you could have the Snake and build them as Blood Sisters, and then your Witch Elves or Sisters of Slaughter, you got Battle Line right there that you need for a 1,000-point game. And then I started off with Marathi, so may not be the best person to do it, but Marathi is a great place to start too, I think, to get you really in the mood for it.
Yeah.
She's the reason why I kept buying more and more. I was like, I really want to see this lady on the field.
Yeah, I have a local friend Ben, who he mostly does my 40. He's the guy I'll mostly play 40K with when I talk about it on the channel.
Yeah.
And he, where I paint to 3 foot fabulous, he paints to 3-inch fabulous. So his stuff takes a little bit of a while. But he picked up Daughters of Khaine. He's just like, I just like Morathi. I was like, yeah, that's
and
a reason.
Yeah, I'd grab the Battleforce box. If you can't grab that and Morathi or anything, the cheapest place to start would just be like the Blood Sisters. Grab them and just go with like the Temple Nest Battalion.
Do you have any of the snake gals?
I built the Blood Stalkers ones because I thought they looked cooler.
Yeah.
And that's the only one I built after I played with them. I'm like, oh, that was disappointing.
I like the idea of the all snake thing, but I don't know how it would do. It doesn't seem like it really highlights what the faction is good at.
The groups that I'm in on like Facebook and everything, a lot of people play them and have a lot of success with it, from what I hear.
Okay.
I just I like the way Morathi looks. And the snake models are like gorgeous, but it's not what I'm going for my main army. So I don't really invest in it.
So you kind of leaned into the Witch Elves specifically.
Yeah.
Okay, right on.
I mean, I played what was it, Warhammer?
Mm-hmm.
What was the MMO? I played the MMO back in the day.
Okay.
And my main character was a witch elf, so I have a lot of bias, I guess, towards witch elves over everything else.
It doesn't hurt that they're really good in the game.
Yeah. Which, I mean, yeah, I really lucked out with having a good army. That was my first army.
That's awesome. Let's see here. So, as I said before, there's a lot of people talking about Daughters of Khaine. Just kind of need another look. One of the suggestions that I've seen was raising the points cost on hags, like the basic prayer. I don't know.
Yeah. The hag queen.
60 points right now, right? That's a dirt cheap hero.
Yeah. She's really cheap. That's usually what, because people are like, oh, the whole army. From what I've seen, and I know the internet's probably a bad place to go to look at outrage.
Just in general.
Yeah. But the whole army it's just so overpowered, everything needs to be changed. Like, well, I'm not gonna you get the witch elves down to a 2-up save with a 2-up feel no pain. I'm like, I don't know how you got that math at all. I don't know what they're doing or who you're playing against, but
yeah. You know, you get to a certain point where like competitive players are playing a different game than I think, well, certainly than I play, but I assume than you play as well, where they're just like mincing everything together.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
That's the thing. Like I'm like on Reddit and people are complaining about it, like, and they're quoting me like the win rate for them. I'm like, but I don't know how that's affecting you, because you already said that you're not going to those tournaments, and you're quoting like one tournament win rate right now. I don't get it. I don't get where you're coming from.
No, I understand. I try to see both sides of it. The thing is that I'm just not part of that world, and yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to ask your thoughts about that. It seems like you're pretty much in the camp of like okay with changes, but not critical.
I mean, like mechanically, like they're fine. Like they're more of a heavily reliant on their heroes. I get like the Hag Queen is really dirt cheap for what she provides, with the Witch's Brew.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good buff. You're immune to battle shock, and you reroll all your failed wounds. Wounds or the hits? I always mix that up. Yeah, you all failed wound rolls. Yeah, like that's pretty good for 60 points. And it provides your witch elves with an extra attack if you're close. Like that's exactly where she's gonna be, is close.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Okay. Do you have any closing thoughts you want to offer to people if they're looking to do Daughters of Khaine, particularly at lower point levels like your event was?
Yeah, I'd probably go with the snakes if you're looking to get in and try it. It's just to try it out, see where it is. If you know it's an army you're gonna like with the fast paced and just heavy kill for lower points, dive right in. It's a steep cost point, but it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing them. I've never once played my Chaos Army because I like it so much.
I was going to ask a question. How many units of the snakes can you fit in versus what you took? Like, because you had mentioned you didn't have enough bodies. I mean, I know part of that was Marathi, and she's just expensive as all get out. But
yeah. So like the snakes, if they're 140 for the Blood Sisters for 5, compared to my 100 for Witch Elves, and then they get discounted at 30.
Mm-hmm.
It's 270. Like I could take a lot more Witch Elves if I didn't have Marathi.
Oh, I see. Okay. So she was really the defining part of your army. Okay.
Yeah, Marathi is 480 points out of 1,000. So
How much?
Yeah, 480. She was the biggest chunk of my points.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, I would do that exact same thing, but I would take the Glotkin, who was like a super sad 400 and something points. Like,
that's funny, but it's they're fun. They're fun.
Yeah,
they're fast. They're killy. Snakes aren't as fast, but they have longer staying power.
What's their save?
They're at a 5-up, and they have 2 wounds, and they get to feel no pain too, because they're Daughters of Khaine. And if you have a Blood Cauldron, it's a 4-up.
I like it.
I do too. They're fun. They're good.
Cool. And so, what did you think about playing against Sylvaneth? Okay, let me back up. Was that your first game against Sylvaneth?
Yeah, that was my first game against Sylvaneth. That was interesting. Like, I didn't realize how many wildwoods they could summon. I didn't know they could travel through the wildwoods to like populate. Like everybody could just do it. It was ridiculous. I didn't know they had a little thing where if you don't move, you get a +3 to your casting and unbinding. Like that really messed me up.
Yep.
Yeah, like the guy rolled like an 11 and +3. I'm like, well, I can't unbind that. It doesn't matter. You won the game. You summoned right on top of them. Wow, blew me away. I was like,
yeah, when you were talking about your first game with the big 2 tree lord guys, you said you put trees in your backyard and in your area. I was like, he's probably just gonna walk right through them, but it didn't sound like he did.
Yeah, no. Oh, he did. He did.
He did. Okay.
He rolled so they couldn't do anything afterwards. So they're just they kept building up over there. I'm like, oh, I need to get out of here.
I need to tend to that.
Yeah. So he brought him back there. I'm like, okay. So I took Marathi. I changed her in the big snake form. I didn't have a place to put her, so I had to move her literally 14 inches, her whole movement. So she couldn't move during the movement phase. So I couldn't position her where I wanted her. And then instead of like coming out of the forest right on the next turn, he'd summon more forests. So he'd just keep getting protection all the way up to the point. I was like, that's smart. Well played, sir. Well played.
It's always cool when you figure out their plan after they've already done it.
Yeah.
You're like,
perfect time to figure it out, really.
Mort.
So I took a gamble and threw my Witch Elves at his big guy. And then I ran Marathi and my other set of Witch Elves and dropped the Life Takers on the objective. Life Takers got wiped out right away. Marathi got up there. The Witch Elves didn't make it. Marathi got up there, wiped out all his little Dryads. The next turn, he summoned more Dryads up there, and I looked at him like, my Doomfires are down to 1, and he could retreat and then move. He already had the objective. Like, well, good game.
Totally.
It was interesting. I had a lot of fun. It blew my mind, though. Like, dang, they have so many tools. I didn't even think about or know.
I get that. Okay. Yeah, they haven't played them a ton. We have well, Mark plays Sylvaneth every once in a while on Rolling Ones with us. Yeah, I can't say I have a ton of experience. I mean, I get people asking questions about this because it was one of the first battle tomes that had kind of the cool like spell lore and artifacts and things like that. And I think it holds up pretty well. I mean, I think it's still one of the top armies in terms of competition because they can do that kind of stuff.
I'd be surprised if it was like after seeing all like they are very mobile for giant trees.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah, they kind of have that Nurgle thing going on where it's like, let's take the least looking mobile army and put them in a hot rod. You're like, oh, okay. That's what we're doing now.
And they're so like if they're in the woods and you cast spell, it's just, they got so much defense as well. Like I don't know. I still don't understand them fully. I'm like, I don't get it. Blew my mind. Whereas my options are I should just go kill it. Let's just go kill everything.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. Like I had an opportunity to get into Sylvaneth because with the way I army hop, it came up eventually. But
of course, I assume you've had the opportunity to play every army at this point.
Yeah. Not quite, but almost. Almost. It's close enough. It's close enough for me to feel bad about myself. But I was looking at the Sylvaneth rules as someone was offering it to me, and I was like, this is too much of a head scratcher. I'm more of a run forward and hit it kind of guy. Like snap things and I don't know, get into combat. I don't know. So, but like you know, using the table to dictate where and when combat happens, it's extremely powerful. But it's too much thinking for me.
Yeah. The guy didn't even. He rarely opened up his book. He just knew it all. I was impressed.
That's always the best. Yeah, that's so this thing I'm going to on the 29th, it's just a local 2,000 point thing. I'm like making myself like 3 or 4 different kinds of cheat sheets because I want to be that guy. That's the best kind of guy to play against. Where you just walk up and you're like, I know what I do.
Yeah.
And you do it, and if you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. I like that guy.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, I don't know if I believe him when he said this is the first time he ever played them. Like, he just read the book a lot. I'm like, I don't know. He seems really good at this.
I mean, either that or he just like straight up got everything wrong and you don't know the difference.
That's a very good point. I like the first idea though, where it seems just really good.
No, I told it. That was 100% a joke. That was not an indictment at all.
Apparently, he typically plays Deepkin though, so I don't want to play against him with that.
Yeah, dude, Deepkin. I played against them twice, and both times they have rocked my world. But also, I was playing Slaves to Darkness, which have almost no rend or rule support or anything like that. So, but even then, I was thinking about like all the armies I have played. I was like, I don't know what I would do against this. Like the only army I can think of that had a chance was my Bone Splitters back in the day. But
that so I posted on your Patreon about games I won with dumb luck. I want to get a Deepkin just because of dumb luck. That was it. It just happened. It landed in my lap.
What happened there? Is it a scenario win or is it?
Yeah, it's a scenario win and just landed. Like again, it was just one of those things where just everything landed in my control, and I just won. And the most I could say was like I took out his turtle, and that's because I focused everything on taking out that turtle.
That freaking turtle's harsh.
Yeah. I told him as soon as that turtle started doing something, like my only goal right now, I don't care if I win or lose, I'm taking out that turtle.
There you go.
Just then.
I frequently do that if I know I'm going to lose. I'll make little mini quests for myself.
That's how I enter every game, though. I assume I'm going to lose. I don't. My army carries me. I'm not that good. What it is? People don't a lot of the people I typically play with now know to go after the heroes, but new people I play against don't know that yet, or don't take it seriously when I warn them to go after the heroes.
Yeah, I typically find if someone is kind enough to give me a heads up, I tend to just do whatever they say because they mean it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. And, again, I don't know why the people say Daughters of Khaine are overpowered. There's armies out there that do crazier things than us. We just kill things really good.
Well, I also understand. So the other high-powered ones are, or I say quote unquote. This is just stuff I see on the internet. It's nothing I've really encountered. The kind of really finely tuned match playlist for a tournament or ITC event. But like, I feel like that is a different mindset and a different tier of list building. Because I can see, like, for example, Legions of Nagash is another one. I've had great games with super narrative players who just love undead and vampires and always had a great time. But then I have played the finely tuned Legions of Nagash list where it's like, this is the opposite of fun. Like, this is going to the dentist levels of fun because you can't kill anything and it all comes right back and all that like that. So, like, I think the way that you play Daughters of Khaine, from the way you describe it, it sounds like, I honestly think what the nerds at GW, when they're like writing all this stuff, is like, oh, this will be cool. This will be cool. Like, I think that's the kind of game they talk about. But when you put it in the minds of someone who views it as a puzzle, like tournament gamers, it looks different.
Yeah.
And that's where I get a huge respect for the people who do the FAQs and the points and rules writing, is like they have a hard line to walk of like trying to mitigate the people who see those things as puzzles to be solved, and also people probably more like us who are like, this sounds awesome and Marathi looks cool, so she's going in the army.
Yeah.
I can't. I would never want that job.
No, that would be stressful. No matter what you do, you're going to be scrutinized for it. That's awful.
Yeah, no, it's rough, and so I don't know. Oh man, I got Master Alark in the chat said he can't wait to paint his Daughters of Khaine set. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. I suggest getting the Blood Bowl Dark Elf set because you get bash some pretty cool figures together.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is she the cheerleader?
Yeah, yes. I guess. I don't know. Just the witch elf. They had a heart in her hand. I put that on my Hag Queen. Yeah. I actually don't play Blood Bowl. I just got it because I like Dark Elves.
I love the idea of it. I just don't think I'll like ever really play it. You know what I mean? Like, I actually had a Blood Bowl team of Skaven, painted them all up looking good, and then I just never actually played it.
No, that's fair. that's speaking of Skaven, I really hope they get that battle tome. Jeez. I know that's off topic too, but my friend plays Skaven, and
it's all good. We were going to move into Flesh Eater Courts, but Kelly had to step away. That's fine. I was just going to say, like, yeah, so about the Skaven stuff, I mean, man, that's one of those factions that, like, when I posted a video about, like, the idea of bringing factions back together, my comment section just blew up, both with people telling me that I'm an idiot, but also people saying that they want that to happen so badly they can scream.
Of course, someone said that.
Oh, yeah. It's the internet.
I don't know what they were thinking. They have all those Skaven units broken up in such a weird way.
Well, so basically what happened was, like, a couple hours after that article went up, or the video went up, GW in a reply on Facebook said, this doesn't mean anything, it's just for ease of use, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
One day, maybe.
One day.
Yeah. We could dream.
I think it makes more sense than some of the other stuff they're doing.
That's for sure.
So, Kelly, you're back.
Kelly, you're back.
So you were at that event as well, is that correct?
Yes.
And what were you playing?
Flesh Eater Courts.
Nice. Oh, thank you for that. A little more informative. So let's back up. What are your thoughts on Flesh Eater Courts in general, and then we'll talk about your experience.
I like them. I personally got into them just because of their, I guess, well, yeah, your lore videos. I just like that they're like absolutely delusional. Like,
I love it.
Yeah.
It wasn't my really, really old video that sounded terrible, was it?
No, it was.
It was, yeah.
I remember I felt so cool when I had Jess read the intro to it. I was like, yeah, this is so amazing. And I look back on it now, I'm like, I was using like a $12 microphone. Yeah, it was fun. Well, cool.
We're on like a 5-year-old computer.
Yeah.
Do what?
We're on like a 5-year-old computer, but yeah.
Yeah. Right on. No, that's cool. So tell me about your list that you brought. If you remember, it's not a big deal if you don't remember. You don't. It's fine.
You keep it on the app. The app is really cool.
On there. I just
Yeah, man.
real quick.
We just recently found out how good battalions are for flesh eater courts afterwards.
The fact, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
This is not what I have though.
No. Oh, were you playing around with it?
I might have been. Oh no, wait. Here we go.
No.
Okay. I have the Golkan Zombie Dragon, 2 things of Crypt Ghouls, and a unit of Crypt Horrors. And then I summoned in 2 Fargle Courtiers.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. And how did your round 1 go? So did you all play the same missions for each round?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're doing the you're trying to capture your opponent. He's trying to get your 1 objective. How'd that go?
It went. I didn't realize he could summon in the unit of the 10. So it was close, but he finally got me in the end.
Was it also Selena?
Yeah, it was also
okay.
Selena.
Sounds like that was half the battlefield. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, right on. And man, it's just an army I love. I love seeing it on the table. I don't think enough people give it its chance. I think do you use the what do you call them? Rules that came in the General's Handbook as well? The allegiance abilities? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about those? Do they add a lot to the army?
Kind of. I mean, I use the one that lets me summon in the 2 courtiers instead of the 1, which is nice.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the other ones, and the fact that I can't remember off the top of my head probably means that's the best one.
But yeah, I know. I was trying to think too, and I'm like, what are the other ones? I don't even remember. But
no, totally.
Yeah.
Right on. And is that an army you're gonna stick with and keep kind of developing it? Or are you looking at other projects? I know you're holding Neferata.
Yeah. I liked her for the model.
Oh yeah.
But I do have a Seraphon army that I'm looking into. But I think I'm gonna stick with my flesh eaters for a while because I do enjoy them.
What do you enjoy about playing them? Like as far as like their strategy, or I don't know how they mesh well with you.
But yeah, I'm not really good at strategy games.
Neither am I.
So I just kind of wing it when I play. But I mean, yeah, I like them though. They're cool. They have cool models. They have a cool story.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. That's I mean, that's basically what I do. I'm forcing myself to stick with Beasts of Chaos and Slaves of Darkness because they're Chaos Undivided, which I like. But mainly because all they do is run straight forward and hit things, which is all I can. That's my tactics. Like that's all I got.
Yeah.
And just yeah, so that's really cool. I'm glad you're enjoying them, and that video kind of caught your attention there. Do you have any suggestions for someone who would be starting them?
I don't know.
Start collecting boxes.
Yes, yeah, I'd get to start collecting box for sure.
I would probably grab 3.
I would say probably more than 1, honestly. Yeah.
So many rules that we haven't put together.
Yeah, we do have a lot of goals, but I mean, like, it's nice to have the 2, to have like a Ghoul King on either a Zombie Dragon or a Terrorgeist, and then 1 on foot too.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to do a video, but I gotta not meet. I gotta talk to people who play armies like that more. Where I think, did you guys ever play War Machine and Hordes?
My friend John does.
John does, yeah.
Yeah, he's tried to get me into it, but I can't find any lore videos or anything for it, so I'm not invested.
It doesn't exist. Every once in a while, I consider because Privateer Press, the company that makes it, is like 25 minutes from my house.
Oh.
Every once in a while, I'm like, maybe I should just reach out to them and offer my services or something. But I was like, I don't know, it's not a lot of work. But anyway, a reason I brought up Privateer Press was when I played War Machine Hordes, the big thing for that game, recursion or bringing models back into a unit, was a huge game swinging thing, and I don't feel like it is in AOS for some reason. But when I read, so I made a video forever ago that Jack from Rolling Ones makes fun of me for, where I said Flesh Eater Courts were the best army in the game. This is 2 years ago, so
She also watched that video.
I did, yeah.
I was here's why they're the greatest thing ever. But it was that same idea of I don't know, dumping models back into a 30-man block of ghouls just sounds so good. And they get 3 attacks base. You can get more attacks out of them. It's why are they so different from Daughters of Khaine? But no, they're very different. Their players and stuff matter, and I get it.
In theory.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, I think if they just had a new battle tome that kind of refreshed or kind of brought them up a smidge, I think all the things are there to make them incredible.
Yeah.
Especially because they have a lot of model diversity. They have the small little guys and medium troops and heroes on big old monsters. Got everything you could want.
That's funny because I just said I wish I saw more models for them. Specifically just for them, not Death as a whole.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think dedicated stuff would always be good. I just more mean I look at other factions what are they? I just did a video on them. Pestilence, where it's I hope you like Plague Monks because you're going to paint 120 of them. Where with Flesh Eater Courts, you can mix it up with some bigger stuff here and there. And
that's true.
Yeah.
2 players and 4.
Totally.
You really don't want to divide that up either. Though.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what draws you to Seraphon? Is just I guess, are you more of a modeler, more a model painter? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I like that there were dinosaurs and they kind of had an Aztec feel to them.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's the models draw me towards that faction, and I don't know what keeps me from playing. I guess I just don't want to paint a bajillion skinks or Saurus warriors to actually have a playable army.
Yeah.
Just need to paint one. Oh, no, you still have to paint them all. Huh?
Yeah, it's kind of a lot.
It can be quite a bit. Okay. Let's see. Got to keep count of what I'm painting here. So I got 20 Ungor.
Didn't you paint orcs?
We don't speak of the orcs. I'm just kidding with you. I did. I totally did. I painted a bunch of Iron Jaws and then played several games with them. And what I noticed was I wasn't getting excited about painting and modeling them. So when I do my chaos stuff, I get really excited about conversions. I have a whole bunch of converted models for my heroes and things like that I love. Let me see if I have an example. Okay, of course I don't have an example near me, but all kinds of cool stuff. And I just didn't have that same level of inspiration for them. I was well, painting and modeling is the biggest part of my hobby. So I started slowly moving towards getting them out of my possession. And then Jack from Rerolling Ones bought them. So you'll still see them on battle reports and stuff like that. But yeah, no orcs anymore. Instead, I took proceeds from that and invested in Beasts of Chaos because I can build battalions to play whatever faction I want. They can be Nurgle or Tzeentch or Khorne, whatever. And so, yeah.
Just need a book for him now. Saves Darkness.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Saves the Darkness. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Oh, were you asking about Iron Jaws? You're talking about orcs for 40K.
Man, in general, I thought orcs were like a horde army in general.
Okay. Well, that's what happened to the Iron Jaws. The orcs for 40K. I actually I gave away as part of the relief effort for people who were afflicted by the fire in California. So
I'm just saying, you painted a horde army before. You know what's another 100 models?
I know. Yeah, exactly. I think for this list, I need to paint 46. 46 models. So that is 10 more gore, 30 best of gore, and a bunch of heroes.
This is why I recommend slow grow campaigns or Path to Glory, because you just build your army very slowly and it doesn't seem like a lot.
So my painting rubric is 3 foot fabulous, but my painting speed is cocaine bender. And so I just try to make things incredibly efficient and fast. And I don't know. I get that. My thing is I just want a playable army, and I wasn't expecting this event to come up. Like I wasn't planning on it. But just today I found out I could go, and I'm like, oh, I want something that works. So I'm rushing it.
Off topic again. How are those night haunts coming along?
They're not.
My favorite way.
I haven't found a way to paint them that I like. I've been doing I did a few with like washes and things like that.
Yeah.
But they're just not quite turning out the way that I want them to, and I'm not sure. I was looking at different companies have different washes. Like Secret Weapon Miniature has a whole like massive line of washes. They're far bigger than GW's, but like I just can't find a color scheme that I like.
I want to throw out a crazy idea here for you.
Go for it.
Blood for the Blood God. I'm not sure if you saw mine. The gash comes out looking pretty cool.
Just the entire model in Blood for the Blood God.
Yeah, and then just throw in like 2 other colors somewhere.
I might do red, but Blood for the Blood God is thick, isn't it? I mean, I feel like I only used it once.
Here it is. On Neferata, the ghosts are blooded for the Blood God.
Huh.
Comes up pretty okay. Our twins broke it, so you see some glue hanging off of it. But yeah, it comes out pretty good, I think.
Okay. I've never seen anyone like paint with it. I've only ever seen effects.
Yeah, that was actually the first time I was like, "Come on, we should give that a shot." And then, actually, I started with Ferna Gash. I'm like, "Oh, this looks really good," and I'm glad I did because I forgot how expensive this model is.
Let's see here. Give me 1 second. How long did it take you to build and paint the gash?
Well, it took me like what, 3-4 days.
Okay, that's pretty speedy.
Probably 4 days.
And so I know you had told me, Craig, that you started doing miniatures for like your like D&D group. Is that?
Yeah.
Do you use Nagash in that? Because that'd be amazing.
I do have a plan to use Nagash. That's why we bought him in the first place.
It is, yeah.
And then she got into Flesh Eater, so like, well, that works too for a Death Army. Perfect.
For a Death Army, yeah.
Boy.
So, they've seen them, but we haven't actually used them in game yet. That's a few sessions off, depending on what everybody does in the game. And we got a new player coming too, so I'm kind of slowing down. So he figures it until he can play with us.
I have never played in a role-playing game.
I feel like you'd like it since you like narrative campaigns.
I know, it's to my nerd shame, but here's the thing, like, so I went into, my wife was traveling for a little bit, like a year or so ago, and so I went into one of our local stores, Mox Boarding House, and they're having a big like Pathfinder night, and I was like, oh, I'll play a D&D-esque type thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And I get in there, and the vibe was uncomfortable. I'll just say that. There's some odd people giving me some odd looks. And hygiene was at a critical low.
Yeah, you'll have that from time to time.
And I was like, this is not where I want to be on a Thursday night. And so that's not a judgment call on anyone. I'm sure they're great people. I just didn't want to be there. And so as I was leaving, I was one of the people who works there was like, oh, you're not going to stay and play? And I kind of explained what was going on. He's like, yeah, The real problem is that the best gaming groups for these kinds of things, like it's just friends meeting at someone's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So I have to it's like a club. I have to already know somebody.
Well,
Yeah.
also have the option to play online, but you might get some weirder people from what the stories I've heard.
This is true.
Yeah.
You can't really read the room when you're online in the same way.
Right.
How weird should this get? And then you're like, no.
Look up RPG horror stories on Reddit if you want to see how weird you can
I
get.
will do that, actually. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. There are some really, really weird ones.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can imagine that. I don't know. So I don't know. That's my experience with role playing. That's pretty much where it started and died. However, they are making a Age of Sigmar role playing one thing at some point, and I'm very interested in trying that.
They just released recently the 4th edition for the Warhammer RPG too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's really, I haven't actually gotten to play it yet because nobody seems to play it around me, and nobody's bought the book, and I don't want to invest into another game that I'm not going to be able to play like I did with Call of Cthulhu so far. Darn man, if you're watching, hint, hint.
Kids got characters made.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah, that's true. But it seems really cool. Like there's a job system that you progress through.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'd be a witch hunter, I personally think, because I think that's a really cool job to be.
I mean, yeah. If you're going to be somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Totally off topic of the flesh eaters, though.
I mean, we're kind of done with our topics. The only thing we were really going to talk about tonight was Daughters of Khaine and Flesh Eater Courts and your event experience. I guess you guys have any more thoughts on those things?
I mean, I that's part of my hobby resolutions is to go do more competitions, to play more games, and get better at painting. But I had a lot of fun. The tournament was fun. 8 hours of standing though. That you feel that afterwards for a little bit.
Yeah, I get that. I know when I went to my event I did in Tacoma, which I didn't end up staying the whole thing for, but I brought like a whole bunch of granola bars. I remember my buddy goes to tournaments, and his big thing for playing War Machine and Hordes tournaments was animal crackers. He would just bring these like ungodly Costco-sized boxes of animal crackers and just stand there and just eat the entire time. I was like, this is amazing.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah.
We'll work for the boys. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's genius.
What time are we at? 8 o'clock? Yeah, it's not too bad.
That's 11:09, you know.
Oh my gosh, that's right. You guys are in the Midwest. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
That's fine.
Well, the kids are on winter vacation. Arts classes got out. Nobody works tomorrow. You good?
Yeah.
Nobody works tomorrow.
Well, no one here.
What do you guys got going on?
Neither one of us work tomorrow. We're
Oh,
both
okay.
off.
I thought you meant like your local area just kind of shut down. I was like, is it really that bad of a storm?
That would be cool.
The whole city decided we're just not going to work tomorrow.
We're just not going in.
It's a city holiday. That's what it is.
I remember when I moved to San Antonio, Texas. I was there from like 13 to when I graduated college or high school. I mean, and there's an event there every year. It's called MIOSA, which just stands for My Old San Antonio. And when I asked what it was, someone said the whole city just decides to just have a party once a year. That's all it is. So it's not like in commemoration of anything. It's like, no, we just do it. We're just like, oh, okay. It's amazing.
That's really cool.
Just for fun.
Once a year, we're going to have a party.
Yeah.
Screw it. I'm sure there's like a real meaning to it, but
And lost.
Obviously did not reach the youth when I was asking them when I moved there.
I hope I never find out the real meaning for it.
It's kind of, I never asked because this is so much more rad than an actual like, oh, it's to celebrate the death, the defeat of this enemy or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
Oh man. So yeah. So any tips? Actually, I do have a question before we can end the topic on. But what are your tips for me as my first full event draws near? Besides, watch out for Sylvaneth summoning.
I bring a chair.
Bring a chair.
Bring a chair. Doesn't hurt. Or snacks. And no. I don't know what your store is going to offer, but we do not have any substantial food there because it's a gaming store. Maybe like a sandwich.
Oh yeah. Well, the place, if you guys are ever up here, like traveling, what about that? It's called Mock's Boarding House, and there's 2 locations, but they have a restaurant built in, and they're super classy.
What?
I like them. Yeah, they have a full service restaurant built in there, and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Dang, that is nice.
It's basically like, I don't know, a mini Disney for adults. I love it.
Yeah, awesome. I don't think you'd ever get me to leave.
There's a big old wall where you can just rent games and play them while you eat. Rent is a strong word. You just borrow it. You just take off the wall.
Those are 2 different things.
Yeah. I guess a demo set is technically what it is. You can play it and then buy it, but yeah.
Our local store, it kind of has it on the walls. I've only been to 3 like stores like that in my life, and it's the only store that I've been to that lets you take games down and play them, like a little demo set, like you were saying. The kids love it. Like the owner, or one of the owners, she loves our twins, and plays with them while we play Warhammer. It's great. Yeah. Oh no, I have no idea what I was going to paint. Oh, now I remember what I was painting. Okay.
Use the kids as a free ticket. That's awesome.
It worked. It did not work during the tournament because she was really busy. So.
How old are your kids, if you don't mind me asking? Just are they like at an age where they can play with you, or are they just chilling outside?
They're just chilling. Well, yeah, they're the store kind of gave them their own little hidden off section from everybody, so they just sit back there and play games. And
oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, but we have twins that are 6, and then a daughter that is 5, and then another son that is 4. But the 2 younger ones are with my mom currently, because some things happened with my ex. Why not? So it was like, oh, well, should have let me know beforehand.
It's all good. It's all good. And so, chilling out, got a few kids. Why aren't you guys doing a date night? It's 100% a joke. It's 11 o'clock at night there. I'm just kidding with you.
Well, that's right. I said, we haven't really had a date night in a long time.
We haven't.
I don't know. I was kind of hoping Kelly would like whack you in the arm and be like, yeah, why not?
I normally have to make her do things.
That's fair. Jess's default mode is to come home and just watch Netflix and chill on the couch.
Yeah.
People are so overwhelming. Like just in general, her job is super high stress. So I was like, no more.
Makes sense.
So,
I just finally watched Infinity War, so
I have not yet. I mean, I know the spoilers, but I haven't.
I luckily avoided all of them until I saw it, pretty much.
What's your hot take?
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Good.
I don't understand how they're gonna make any more movies. But
Disney has never hurt for ways to make money.
Yeah.
They will find a way.
Well, like the Guardians, they're pretty much gone.
Yeah, but I mean, you already know they're making a 3rd one of that, and they're making a 2nd Spider-Man with that kid. So
yeah, I
don't know.
I don't know where they're going with the story. That's all.
Me either. Yeah, like.
As a side note, I really hope they lean into the comic book way of doing things, which is like just reset this whole series and just don't talk about it, like nothing ever happened.
That would be amazing.
Like forget the whole like MCU thing. I'm just like, no, these guys are fine. They're fine. Everyone's fine.
What happened?
Stop asking so many questions. Buy this ticket.
I took it.
Do you want to see your favorite characters dead? Because that's how they
Exactly,
do
yeah.
that.
You gonna complain? I'll kill him again. Oh man.
What's your next army going to be, Doug?
Well, you know, I don't know. It's kind of like, did you guys ever watch Quantum Leap when you were younger?
I remember seeing one episode on really late at night once.
He jumps from body to body across space and time, and he always hopes that his next jump will be the jump home. And that's exactly where I feel like I am. I just kind of army hop, and I hope at some point I'm going to encounter something that is super fun, and I just stick with it. I'm really hoping the Beasts of Chaos are, if not, I mean, I'm not going to say my only army forever, but at least one that sticks around for quite a long time. Yeah, that's kind of all I got on the docket right now. As far as other things, like in 40K, I don't have an actual army yet because I gave away my orcs.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at Space Marines.
4,000 Suns. Either way.
So the thing about Thousand Suns is my good friend Ben, who I play a lot, also has Thousand Suns. That's something he's really into, and so like I don't know if I could do that to him.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Death Guard. Got it.
I could do Death Guard. The thing is, like, I'm tempted by Death Guard because there's so few models. That sounds actually really nice.
Yeah.
Another thing is just going all Primaris, which would still be very, very few models, but it wouldn't be very good. So,
I thought I have Thousand Suns. My friend Ann just painted them for me because I keep getting over my head with models to paint with my daughters. But looking at like the new Eldar lady that they have out, I was like, I kind of want that.
The new Eldar lady.
I guess it's probably not new. Like last time I looked at 40K was in high school, so
It's new to you.
So it's new to me. That's a big old hero, the God of Death now.
Oh yeah, that came out about I think a year ago, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah. So I look at it, I was like, I kind of want that a lot.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. It's a stellar model.
And
I think there's nothing else about the Eldar line besides like that specific set that really interests me.
I'm just hoping it works the same way Daughters of Khaine work. Because that's how I got in 1,000 Suns, because I bought Magnus first. I was like, oh, I kind of want to play this now, too. Did it with Marathi.
Oh, yeah.
Did it with Slaves to Darkness with my Lord of Change.
Hey, man, I did that. It's a super legit army.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing.
We were having a discussion. What was I trying to say? We were having a discussion with the Zine rules as far as like the fate dice, and people are using it to just have incredible magic and blow people off the board. And I just took all Slaves to Darkness, but with Zine stuff, and it's like, you know what's great is this is a 12-inch charge guaranteed. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah, I haven't actually got. Again, I haven't played with any of them because it's weird to me that Slaves to Darkness doesn't have a book out. All the other armies that I've played do.
Yeah.
And I don't know where to get it. If you like, just look it up online. I like that's really vague, and I don't know if it's going to be legit. So
it is, yeah. You just have to have the Grand Alliance Chaos book, which stinks. But
is that where it's at? Nobody's pointing me towards that.
Oh yeah, sorry. If you're looking for the actual like War Scrolls, it's all in the Grand Alliance Chaos book, or I just use the app and print it off online or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they had because I was like, how do I know like Daughters of Khaine have a battle tome with all their little Daughters of Khaine stuff? Where do I find Slaves to Darkness stuff since they don't have a book? And I look for like how Skaven have one. Looking in there, no, nothing. Okay. So I was like, it's what, like D4chan or something like that on the internet that had all the Slaves of Darkness information that I looked at. I was like, I don't know if this stuff's correct though because I don't have a book.
Yeah, 1D4chan is my source for hard-hitting tactical information.
Yeah. It's totally legit.
It's that same. All I do is ever is quote other things, but from The Office, Michael Scott is on Wikipedia. And he's like, anyone can write Wikipedia. That's how you know you're getting the best information.
I love The Office.
It doesn't work that way.
Oh my God,
That's like, can't argue with that logic.
No,
You
exactly.
really can't.
Pretty flawless. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I started off pure black when we started this.
Yeah. So he is
I went to finish the.
actually I'll turn him the other way around so everyone looks all right. But yeah, he is. This is the Gorgon. Basically, all I had left to do for the Ungor that I was talking about before was just kind of base them. I just made the bases black. So they're off, cooling off, chilling, and then the Gorgon is important because he's expensive, and I need to fill up points.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to get into like Bulgor and other kind of monsters because I have a ton of little guys, but I don't want to paint a bajillion little guys, and I don't want to move a bajillion little guys every time I play a game. So having a few big pieces to fill in the gaps is important. So yeah.
Just don't be walking on ice with your big guys. So.
Yeah. So you told me you slipped and fell. What broke?
My Marathi, my Blood Rack Shrine. Luckily, that's the one I use the least. So good. I was able. Luckily, Marathi only broke on like the scene where she gets put together, anyways. But I was still pretty mad. My Blood Rack Shrine literally shattered. Some of my Doomfires broke. My Bloodstalkers broke, like their arms and stuff. And it was pitch black outside, like 8:30 at night. I slipped down a flight of stairs, hit my head, my whole arm was a giant bruise. I got the two kids with me who were just like, "You fell down the stairs and all your things broke." Yes. Thank you, guys. You're so helpful right now. Thank you.
Dad, you're not supposed to be on the ground, sturdy.
I would not understand the situation that I am in if you guys were not here at this moment.
Awesome.
I feel like they were trying to legitimately be helpful, but it came off very sarcastic at the time.
Yeah.
I found the like half of my Blood Rack Shrine over the side of the stairs somehow. Great. My Blood Cauldron, though, the very first one, stayed in the box and slid down the stairs perfectly. Nothing happened. Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome. When I was at the thing in Tacoma, there was a Daughters of Khaine player, and he had everything on like this little like wheeled cart, I guess. Like he brought it to a tournament, which is interesting. But then he bumped into it, and then he tipped it over and like just shattered some. I don't think it was I don't think it was the Blood Rack Shrine, but I think it was a big thing like that, and it just like he had 8 people looking for pieces under tables and stuff like that, interrupting games. He was so mad, cussing like a madman.
Oh yeah, I understand that. I was so mad at myself. And then 2 hours before, not a thing of ice on the ground, not wet or anything. I walk out, like 2 inches of ice on all the stairs. I was so confused.
Well, luckily in the Pacific Northwest, we have very, very little. Well, I think we've had like 3 days this year that have ice, but no snow. And
that's why I need to move back home.
All right, let me postcard on how it goes.
Okay. Well, what time is it there for you guys? It's 2 hours, right? So no, it's 3.
3 hours.
Erg. Okay. Well, I will let you guys go to bed and get some sleep. Is there anything else you want to like talk about? I mean, I'm not forcing you off.
I have zero issue staying on talking as long as you want to, Doug. I'm usually up to plate. She isn't, but
I'm an old lady.
I'm usually playing a game or something or painting. still. So.
Oh, okay. We'll let it ride and just keep chatting. If anyone has a topic in the chat they want to throw out there, we'll just open it up to that. But yeah.
So, have you got? Go ahead.
I was going to say the worst part of this model is it's these long gaps where I have to wait for everything to dry because it's all just so much surface area painted all at once. So he's just chilling. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, did you get it? I don't remember if you asked for questions from the last while you were reforging.
Oh yeah. You see if I got any. I have like a automatic inbox thing set up here. That's not it. Okay. Phil asks if I have any plans for updating the start collecting boxes for 2nd edition. Nothing changed really, so probably not. I mean, like things changed, but
yeah,
not on the War Scroll level that really changed those reviews. No, honestly, no real questions.
No, you want to change the Flesh Eater one?
Do you want to what?
You want to change the Flesh Eater start collecting box review?
I mean, it only got better. Right? What did I do for that one? Did I mess that one up?
No, you just said it's the best army.
Oh, no, that was in a separate video just called The Best Army in AOS, which I embarrassed myself, tactically speaking. I don't know. I don't think I'm not someone who chases meta. I don't think I could ever accurately say what the best army is.
Right.
Oh,
I think it's all perspective. I probably think they're the best army in the game.
I mean, they're the only army I ever played, so.
They're the best army in your game.
Yeah.
No, so their summoning is so weird compared to everybody else's.
But so on that, like, you mean as far as like using command abilities and spells to bring dudes in?
Yeah.
See, I like that. I want that more. I don't think everything needs to be like the chaos stuff where it's all like have a point and a whole like system. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but it's at least the games we played. The summoning is really strong.
Mm-hmm.
And the Flesh Eaters don't really get to summon anything, but when they do, it's not much at all. I feel like it should be a little. You should either give it to them or not. Not really.
I guess.
Find a better in between. Then you get to do it once, maybe summon two at once. 4 tiers, and that's it.
Yeah, I think it should be more consistent than that. I mean, I like the probably the Sylvaneth level where it's like this is a pretty consistent thing you can do. It's not reliant on a battle trait or anything like that.
Yeah,
I do kind of like that. My thing is like the only negative thing I have to say about the Beast of Chaos book is with they can summon, they can like throw Ungor on a pyre and get call the wild points, whatever they're called, and summon stuff in that way. And it's like this doesn't feel like fun and unique though. It just feels like a rip off of the demon thing.
Yeah.
It's like no, I want all the summoning to be like different. I don't know, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I think it should be different, but I feel like it should be like. Yeah, I feel like they didn't really put much thought into it. Was just like summon 2 courtiers of any choice. Your pick. Have at it. Whatever. That's it.
These guys are a dime a dozen. It's whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm gonna look at the questions here in the chat. Joel says, Doug, how's the battle report prep going? After a long delay of waiting for basically when I ordered the mats and table stuff, they're on back order. So I actually just got a confirmation today that it was all shipped. So I'm hoping, by the end of the July to start doing battle reports.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. So speaking of stuff like that,
yeah,
that's something I want to start doing. Like creating like a community. I'm not sure if I want to do like the YouTube thing or whatnot, but I did get a table made that should be here sometime soon. How did you like decide you wanted to do this and like just get into it?
You mean like at what point did I just decide like I'm going to become a YouTuber?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I saw that the only videos online for AOS were, we'll say, derogatory to be family friendly. But when the game came out, it was a very poorly released game in terms of like the actual marketing and all that stuff like that, and so it just had a very bad reception for a myriad of reasons I won't go into now. Anyway, there's no one talking about how cool it was, and so I was like, that's a bummer. And I don't actually know what prompted me to, I say pick up the camera, but I've always just used my cell phone. Those early videos. I'm not sure. Honestly, part of it was I just wanted to rip off Arch Warhammer because I loved his content back in the day, as far as like lore videos for 40K and things like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't even remember the first videos I did. I think so. The Flesh Eater Courts one is one of the earliest I can remember. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure on some level part of it's just hubris. I wanted people to talk about stuff I did and be like, "Oh, look how cool Doug is," but that's just me. But
well, I mean, that's obviously a good motive.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I did it for the money and the fame and the drugs. So
yeah, I mean, obviously, I've seen your rockstar life. You post it all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't know. I think part of it is like I, as a person, am very community oriented. Like I serve a lot, I volunteer a lot for different things, and so when I saw what was happening, I just saw a need. And it's one of those things, like, as much as people were crapping all over AOS, it was one of those things where like this company will not let this game fail because there's too much money invested in it. So things are going to change, and when they change, like a new I don't know, generation of content producers who were playing fantasy battles and then walked away from the game, like those guys are gone. So who's going to fill the void? And I want to be one of those people to like pitch in and help and stuff like that. That was my thought, anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of where I'm like. I went to another store to see if I could get a game in because we couldn't go Tuesday, like because that's where our regular store has it.
Yeah.
And like nobody showed up. I'm like, I don't like that. I really like this game, and their Age of Sigmar night, they have people playing D&D or Blood Bowl, and nobody showed up for Age of Sigmar. Like that. I don't like that.
I get that, and that's one of those things. Like, but I mean, that's an area that I fail in. Like, I don't contribute a lot locally.
Oh, Doug.
I mean, like every store does feel more blessed because I'm there, but it's not like I actually put any effort to like build a community. Yeah, I don't know. I should. Like, I have ideas for events and stuff that I want to run. I just never.
No!
Oh, God. Who'd we lose?
No.
Luckily, it's just one part. Maybe I can get it to sit in there straight this time now that I know it's warped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's good. It's blessing in disguise. That's what it was.
It did not sound like a blessing in disguise when you just yelled, no.
She got up to get the cat off something and knocked the cauldron out of my hand.
I think Many a model have perished to my cat being a turd.
Yeah. Oh. So I started painting in the living room because Kelly goes on these like long purges of not painting. So I stopped painting in the paint room, and I left the paint out one night, and the cat stepped in the wet paint and just have tracks all over the couch now. Just cat.
What a butt.
Yeah. You know she's not supposed to be on the table too, so thought she was gonna get away with it.
I don't think cats have any concept of where they're not supposed to be. I think they're just like, I belong everywhere.
That's probably, but I like her more when I see her as more of a rebel.
I love it. Oh man. So you said you were thinking about getting into the YouTube stuff? I always encourage it.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it. I don't even know how to edit videos. I thought I was like tech savvy till I started wanting to do things with technology. I'm like, oh, I know nothing. Awesome.
I'm very good at cyber.
Yep.
No, okay, I get that. I respect that. Everything for me was a learning experience. If you start with the attitude of you're gonna do your first video and you're gonna hate it, like you're just gonna hate it, and then you're just gonna be like, well, I'm just gonna put this on the internet, and then the next one's gonna be better, at least in one way, and that's just how you do it. Audio is everything. Like people will watch a crappy resolution video, but if it has good audio, they'll stick with it.
Yeah, that's me all the way. I hate crappy audio.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know.
You don't have to give away any trade secrets.
Go ahead.
You don't have to give away any trade secrets. I understand.
I don't have any trade secrets. I don't care. No, I seriously do encourage everyone to, like, I think producing content for stuff that you love only makes more people fall in love with it. So I always encourage it. I'm just trying to think of, I've never been asked, like, how do I start? Because like I'll just tell you what I did. Like, I just started with my cell phone. I got a $12 lanyard mic off of Amazon, and that was most of my first videos. I used Microsoft Video Editor, which is the actual devil, and I don't recommend it. Don't ever touch it.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's free. It's Windows, and I have a Windows computer, and this just totally makes sense. I'm techie, and then I was not techie. And what else? Yeah, that's basically how it evolved. And then just, again, like I said, it's improved one thing. So then just built up from there. Got myself somebody gave me a webcam, which is very nice. And then I bought a second one when I moved here. And yeah, I mean, battle reports are a different beast because they require a lot more editing than what I do. Mine are almost glorified slideshows, like for the lore videos.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's the thing where it's like I have this idea for a campaign that I want to launch with and also with that, but I know it's going to be a lot more work, or at least different work. I don't know if more is the right word than I'm used to.
So you're going to do like the campaign is going to be like a battle report, right? Or
yeah, it's going to be just a series of battle reports. I'm actually still kind of debating on the style of it. So, there is one put out by Frontline Game. Actually, they put out two, but Frontline Gaming put out some a long time ago, where they instead of like play-by-plays, you don't see too many dice rolls. It's more just like they're literally telling you the story and then playing it out with models.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It is really smooth, and it only lasts about like 15 minutes. So it's a very short, curated, highly produced experience. And I kind of like that. And the thing is, it doesn't require an opponent because no one's really on camera. You're just kind of watching what's going on. It's like there's something I can literally bang that out in an afternoon if I'm just sitting here by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And then there's stuff like what rerolling the one guys do, where they have a lot of footage of dice rolling and all that stuff like that. And that's super cool too. They get to be long videos.
Yeah, I tend to watch them when I listen to them. I can't say watch. I listen to rerolling when I'm cleaning the house.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
The reason I point out that they're long is because the longer the video, the longer the runtime.
Yeah.
When you're rendering the video when it's done. So that's something you got to keep in mind.
I do like the way that sound of that, like for a narrative campaign, at least with the storytelling. If it goes all long stuff, it can easily get lost in it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the struggle I'm having as far as like I have so many storytelling elements I want to keep in there. But
yeah,
when you do like a game with all the details and all the dice rolls, it can kind of get lost. So
that's yeah. I was talking with Jesse about doing a narrative campaign, but we haven't really gotten anywhere with that, other than opening up the book at the tournament real fast.
This is straight up like let's just plan this right now in the middle between games.
I was in the middle of my game, so I didn't get to ask him why. He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing like what his thought process there was with that," but I really should have.
That's funny.
Yeah, they're starting a Path to Glory after the holidays. Delta Source, I have no idea when we'll be able to do it. But I guess you make a Path to Glory into a narrative campaign.
Oh, absolutely.
For yourself.
I mean, so when it started, Path to Glory was a narrative campaign. It was only for Chaos players, basically what is now Slaves to Darkness. And your story was how these warbands fight against each other to earn the favor of the gods. And it's kind of, I think, lost a little bit as they've added more factions to it, which is both good and bad. But yeah, it used to be a very narrative supplement to like slow grow a very specific army.
Yeah, that's how I first started playing this Path to Glory, and I thought it was going to be a narrative thing. Like I don't remember the name that I gave my general, but I remember naming him and getting all excited and like, oh, never mind. I was playing. Someone had Legions of Nagash in that. That was painful.
Yeah, the whole like whoever your hero is determines how many choices you get initially. There's some rough ones, man.
Yeah. I picked my Blood Cauldron for mine, and I did pretty good at the beginning. Not many people could take it down at the start. And then again, nobody actually played Daughters of Khaine before then either. Oh, that's where the cauldron part was. I was looking at I'm like, something's missing here. That's right, it broke.
That's funny. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go check out questions here in the comments. Kenzie McKeever, you see the new article foreshadowing the rise of the bad moon? I did. I'm very excited. We're having a gentleman's debate amongst me and the Rerolling One guys about if there's going to be any new units or what it's going to look like. I don't know how many units are going to be, but I'm hopeful that it's going to be at least fun. It's got to be fun.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. Honestly, I don't really care about Grots, to be perfectly honest with you. What I'm excited for is a destruction army getting some love. Because we have very few destruction armies actually with battle tomes in the game.
I was looking to get a destruction army because we have a chaos, an order, and a death army.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's not very many options for that at all.
No, you got Iron Jaws, Bone Splitters, and Beast Claw Raiders, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of another one.
What about the Spider Fang people? I saw start collecting those for them.
No, that was a holiday thing, like for allies.
Oh.
There's no actual battle tome for them.
Oh. Those would have been cool.
I know, dude.
Let's
see here.
What were they thinking?
Michael Bateau, when are the painting tutorials starting, Doug? I need to see this cocaine bender process in action. The paint tutorials actually start this week. So tomorrow I'm going to I basically batch prime a bunch of stuff because we have very few sunny days in Seattle area where I can do priming. But anyway, I'm going to do the tutorial for the glowing rock from heat effect that I did on the Herdstone. If you haven't seen my Herdstone, you can go check out the community tab on my page or head over to Instagram in the link below. But basically, I made it so there's a fire in the fireplace, and the rock has like this chaos, nasty red towards the fire, and then it goes to a cool blue at the top. So I'm going to show you how I do that kind of gradient. Yeah, that starts the painting tutorials. So check that out.
You know how to do a marble effect on a 3D object?
I sure as heck don't.
I really messed it up on this one.
If it cannot be done in like a fast and furious method on some level, it's probably not for me.
I watched a like 23-minute video about how to do it. And then I think I messed up by not having the correct medium, but I'm not sure. But it doesn't look, or it's not supposed to be on 3D objects. It looks nothing like marble.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Yeah, and I tried doing the GW tutorial they had forever ago, and I wasn't in love with the result I got because they had like a daily tip type thing, and it didn't look right. I don't know. My thing is I'm really bad at painting super fine lines, and that requires incredibly fine lines.
Yeah, that is also an issue.
Yeah. Let me see here. Oh, I lost my place. Google does this incredibly annoying thing where, like, if you scroll down once, it drops you to the bottom of the questions. So you have to kind of like figure out where you were. Let's see. Any tips for building the confidence to go into my GW and play? I had experienced similar things to what you did with the role-playing event you tried to attend. GW store is a little bit better just because there's a manager there who has a monetary interest in making sure no one's a dick. Like, if people are mean, they just don't come to a store anymore. So I'd say hang out with the store manager. Yeah, I mean, honestly, going out there to your GW store and just painting for a bit, like, don't play, just sit there and paint for a little bit, so people get a little more used to you. Maybe you can chat if you're feeling social anxiety or something like that. I think that definitely helps, where you always have something to work on, so you don't have to be forced into social situations like gaming does. I think is definitely a smart way to introduce yourself, at least, so you feel more confident when you're playing. Let's see. Question from Kinsey. What do you think of a 500-point campaign taking place on a carriage in Overlord Sky City? That sounds amazing. Honestly, I would actually do that. If you had, I'm trying to think who the villains would be. I want like people that would make sense to be on a Sky City, which is a lot of KO. But yeah, that sounds super fun because that would be like Kill Team because they all have the cool guns for KO.
That would be fun.
That would be, yeah. I could see that. I'm trying to think of what other factions would make sense to be on a ship. I'm not coming up with a lot of ideas initially, but
I think it'd be like another Order army. Just
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like free people or other Dwarden of really any kind, because they would trust each other enough to come aboard, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go to the next question here. Let's see. Not seeing a whole lot of questions. I read in my new book that Vandus Hammerhand was chosen to be the Lord Commander of the Hammers of Sigmar. Does that have any impact on the game? Not really. It's just a title in the books. Vandus actually hasn't shown up since we moved into the Malign Portents thing, which is a shame, I think. Hopefully we come back to him. I want him and Corgus Cole to have like a reckoning
Yeah, I'm still waiting for all that after listening to your videos.
Yeah.
I actually got the books on Audible to listen to after that.
Some of them are super good. Those old ones, yeah. I find the older books are more hit or miss than the current ones. Like, I feel like the newer stuff they put out is definitely more hit than it is miss.
I feel like the newer stuff, they're probably still just trying to get their feet wet.
Yeah. It was, when you combine it with the rough release of the game, it was kind of a lackluster start. When people are like, there's no lore, and then lore we get is like, this is boring. And some of it was. But then it got better. Once they introduced Gordrak, it was like, oh, this is so much better. Why didn't we start with this?
Yeah, live and learn. But speaking of the future, what do you think the next army is? Since we have wildly speculate.
Oh, like next army coming out?
Yeah.
I mean, I really think it's Moon Clan Grots or Grots of some kind.
I figured it out. I meant after them. I thought that was like a for sure thing with all these hidden features. But you're probably right. Probably isn't a for sure thing yet.
I have no idea, honestly. I know like people had speculated Dark Oath would come out in like February, March area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, like I kind of gave up waiting for him. That's why I have Beast of Chaos. Because I was like, yeah, at a certain point, I have so much hype built into this thing. I'm just gonna be disappointed.
I've been tempted just to try to mail you my Chaos Army at this point.
Do what?
I got tempted just to mail you my Chaos Army.
Oh, you're not playing them?
Yeah, I built them. I was thinking, maybe there would be a book or something. I was like, oh, they're fun to paint, but I'm never going to see the tabletop at this rate.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I mean, especially when you have like an army like Daughters of Khaine that actually like works. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of people debating how brutal it is, like it works. Like we can all agree.
Yeah.
Which makes it hard when you're playing Slaves of Darkness stuff, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Chaos Warrior models, I think, need to be updated too.
I think Marauders need to go away. And then as far as actual Warrior itself, I like the Warrior. It's fine. He fits enough,
I don't like how it's just, I don't know, maybe I just got an easy to build one where it's just you put a back and a front together and put a hand in a socket.
Yep.
I don't like more variety out of that.
Yeah, I get that. Oh, this guy has so many flipping little skulls all over him.
It's kind of like you don't like that. That's the best part, is all the skulls.
All the skulls.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking of doing with this cauldron is I had to buy an extra box of witch elves for my Umbral spell portal because I'm ridiculous like that, instead of just finding one. So I got a whole bunch of extra elves. I'm thinking about having them jumping off of this and having the two that's supposed to be on here holding the Bloodstalker's bows.
That sounds cool.
Instead, I don't know how it's going to look, but I got enough spare parts now that I can mess around with it.
That's cool. I think when you reach that point in a collection, you have a bunch of spare stuff. That's always a good part. That's why I had like Blue Horrors doing weird stuff and Nurglings on my endless spells and stuff like
that. I love the Nurglings, are so cool. I like them. They got a great unclean one. I didn't realize it came with little Nurglings. They're hilarious. There's one wearing a freaking cape.
Yep.
Like, what does Nurgling need a cape? That's hilarious. It almost made me want to start a Nurgle army, and I was like, but I don't like Nurgle.
Let's see. Waiting on this guy to dry here. Yeah, some of those little. I know when the Death Guard came out, there was like the sassy Nurgling who had the little helmet on. Like, oh, that guy's adorable.
That's awesome.
Let's see here. I think we're almost caught up on questions.
Awesome.
It's hard to sift through. If you have a question for us, can you put question in all caps in the beginning and then ask it again? Because I'm not seeing it, and Google keeps bouncing me around the chat. Boom, boom. Okay. Nothing. Okay. Sweet. All right. What is next? There's so much to this guy.
I mean, you got a lot of work done in a very short amount of time. I'm impressed.
Oh, there's still so much to go.
I mean, all I've done was put line. All I did was attach her, put the lines in the steps, and attach the silver on them. That's all I've done.
It's all good. I've got a question here. The Weather Pig Wargaming, is it considered not fun to play against Idnith? I got them for the looks and don't want to just annoy people by playing them. That's a great question. So the thing about Idnith Deepkin is they have a lot of things that can make negative play experiences, but if you are transparent with your opponents of like, hey, this first game might be rough, but we can always adjust the list to make it a little easier, I think people will be more receptive to it. The thing is, what really gets, if you take multiple like big units of eels, you're gonna ruin people's day because those guys are like, they have one speed and it's full speed. They're amazing units.
I haven't played against eels yet.
Huh?
I haven't even played against eels yet.
Oh my goodness! I threw my army at the shield ones, and it was Slaves of Darkness, so they don't do much anyway. But they just didn't do anything. It was a little bit soul crushing.
The thralls are impressive too.
Yeah, they have a hero stat line, 3-up, and rend, and I don't know, they're great. I think what'll happen eventually, and I have no official word for this. I'm a nobody, but what'll probably happen eventually is that the eels will go up in price, and so people will reevaluate the thralls and start using them more because they're really good.
Yeah, that's faced against the thralls and the turtle. Pretty much what the army consisted of, and it was those thralls do damage.
Yep,
a lot of damage. And then the little tide mechanic too. That's interesting. Right. That they get to always act first in combat part.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's not just good units. It's that like it's good units backed by. There's an entire turn where they just get to go first for no reason other than just being Deepkin, just because, and just that kind of stuff. So they are an army that has a high potential to make negative play experiences, but I don't think anyone should be a jerk and like not play you because of that.
They're fun to go against too. I mean, as long as you know what you're getting into, like not getting blindsided, they're interesting. Beautiful models.
Yeah, I know. I feel like just by painting things, people are like, "Oh, you're not a total jerk," because it means you're not a power gamer. You're not just jumping on the train.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's always been my impression anyway.
No, not. I mean, I played against some power gamers that painted their armies, but they're nice about it.
Sorry.
I went up against Legion and Nagash a few times, and I was like, "Oh god, I still don't know how to deal with like all those skeletons coming back."
I have no help for you. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's rough. I made the mistake the first time of just trying to wipe them all out, didn't come close. There's so many of them. And they just came back, and the Blood Knights. I want vampires to come back because those guys are vicious, and they have. I feel like they'd have some really cool models if they came back. So just being a death thing.
Let's see here. Cool. Question: what do you guys use for debonder on magnets under bases? I have no idea.
Don't use magnets. That's why I have 3 cauldrons.
No, I don't know. I mean, I use magnets, but I've never been in a position where I had to debond them.
Have you tried acetone?
That'd be my first thought. But yeah, I'm not sure. It depends on. Are you trying to preserve the model, or are you just trying to get the magnet off? Like, we can be super aggressive.
Yeah. And underneath the base? Oh.
Let's see here. Kenzie says, real quick, can we resolve to say that the guy who died to Corgus Gold, Jacktos Golden Mane, totally deserved it? Yes. He was a May tool. Have you guys read that book or listened to the audio drama?
No. I just thought we'd agree with it.
Just straight up, yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
No, totally agree. It was basically like this guy who he got a little hot-headed and tried to run ahead of the main army and be a hero, and then he got struck down. I was like, yeah, you did.
Idiot. Jeez, you don't do that.
Yeah, no. That's how I play. It's not how you do things in the books.
Yeah. Come on. Is there any Daughters of Khaine books out there? Because I haven't seen any.
I feel like there's short stories, but I haven't really read any.
Yeah, I haven't really seen any. And I've read all the old world ones, so for Dark Elves.
Oh, yeah. Corey Garrett, question: what happened to Corgus? Corgus, we don't really know. They didn't really give us a satisfying resolution at the end to the Corgus Code, whatever happened to him. He's probably still alive because he's been alive for hundreds of years, so there's no reason to think he's died of age. He was defeated at the end of all gates, but he wasn't killed necessarily. So I don't know. As we were talking about earlier, they didn't really resolve those plot lines, which is a bummer. Let's see. Question. All right, here's a question we can both answer. What's our favorite Stormcast hero?
There's a favorite. You can have a favorite Stormcast hero?
I mean, they never die, so yeah, your hero's never going to go away.
I don't like the Stormcast at all.
Oh, okay, well, that's not a question for you. It's not a question we can both answer then.
They were, I don't know. I don't like, I guess they're starting to not be like pure hero-y, but I still got that taste in my mouth.
I get that. I'm going to say Lord Relictor because I thought prayers were the coolest mechanic ever added to the game when they came out.
Does the Bastila count as a hero? Because I think that's a pretty cool unit.
Which one?
The little Bastila.
Oh, yeah. It's not a hero, but I'll take it.
Really cool.
For someone who doesn't like the army, I'm going to take that as an answer. You were able to name a unit.
Those guys are tough, too. Oh, God. I hate those guys.
Yeah. Jack in our group, for his competition, his tournament army runs, I think 4 of them. And they are the definition of savage. I mean, so Jack is a awesome guy to play against. He makes some of the coolest armies, like with his corn and stuff like that. But his Stormcast army was made specifically to be a tournament army. Like it's the design, and he's very good at it. because he usually comes in like first or second at events, and so like it's hard as nails. And I like the whole store where he plays those things just fills with tears as he drops it. He obliterated a Legions of Nagash player, and that was just it's tasty.
You should go play against Jack. Make a trip.
Yeah.
Now?
Let's just fly out there real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug said we're the bestest of friends, so.
Yep, exactly.
See, now it's on recording, so yeah, I tricked him into it.
That was funny. Let's see, trying to see. There's some debate going on here.
Was that a good debate?
I'm not quite sure what's going on in the chat, but someone was talking about Stormhost not being pretty terrible. So I was just kind of curious what's going on because I can't keep up. That's okay. No, Stormcast to me, like I had some at one point. The thing is that like I really dislike the first generation of models that they came out with, but I love the Vanguard stuff, like the guys on I don't know, big not horseback raptors and scouts and all that like that. I love that stuff. So
yeah, but you just go get dinosaurs riding other dinosaurs.
Exactly. Yeah, if I'm gonna have weird stuff riding weird stuff, I'm just gonna have dinosaurs riding dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I need to see more from Stormcast of not being like super uppity pure people. Need a lot more. It's kind of why I like Daughters of Khaine a lot too. Like, we're technically good, but not because we want to be. Just because there's worse things out there than us.
That's funny. Oh, I see. The debate was about the Celestial Vindicators.
Oh.
And whether or not they slaughtered a whole town. I don't know. Interesting. Actually, the Celestial Vindicators are they're my favorite, like thematically, but the Astral Templars match with the Vanguard stuff better. So I'm not sure what I would go with. Let's see here.
Were they the ones that slaughtered the town because of the Nurgle infection?
I think that was Knights Excelsior. I think. Because I think Knights Excelsior, their short story was called To Truly Excel. And that was their thingamajigger.
Huh.
Their shtick, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, what do you, so if as someone who's listened to a bunch of the audiobooks like that, what do you think of the current direction of the lore and stuff like that?
I have not actually gotten to Soul Wars yet.
What are you doing, man? What do you do with your life? I'm just playing with you.
Yeah, I do a lot, surprisingly. Like, sadly. Well, like, I try to listen to audiobooks with Kelly so she doesn't miss any of it, regardless if she cares or not, because, well, you know, I didn't actually think why I would do that, but I do it. Dang it. I try not to do it with the kids because it's above their head, so they're going to be too bored.
I get that.
Yeah. And then I tried to listen to them when I was cooking once, but everybody complained that they couldn't hear what they were doing. So I was like, okay, fine. So in the small moments that I get to listen to the audiobooks, I do it. But from what I've seen from your lore videos, because that's where I get it from now, the story, I don't understand where they're going with it. Like, it's kind of like what happened with Nagash. It's kind of reminiscent of the old world.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
don't know what that means.
it's a weird direction they're going in, because I didn't expect them to. They basically jumped several hundred years, like within the universe that they created. And I'm still trying to understand that decision. Like, why introduce us to characters like Vandus Hammerhand and Gorg Skull if then it's just like, and next week they're gone. And you're just like, oh, I don't think they're gone. They're not dead. They're not being talked about anymore.
I don't like. I really want to know what was going on with like Slanesh and the other elven gods. What army? I don't know. The gash is cool and all, but it wasn't going to. It wasn't what I was interested in, and now I'm just really confused because with what happened with them, like, and they started hinting at all the Slanesh stuff lately. I'm like, so what's happening in this Blood and Rapture box, and how you got to be the Pretenders for
Are you asking me a question?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to be. I think. I haven't actually read the box yet. I'm not quite sure, but there are 3 ways to play Slanesh, so I imagine you can still do those.
It's just I don't. Where I thought everything was going to go has not happened, so I don't. I'm just lost now.
I feel like the Realmgate Ors was awesome because it was a complete story.
Yeah.
Like, we started at one place saying, "Hey, Realmgates are important," and then that God Beast was a bit of a departure, but realistically, it followed that same narrative. Like, here are your main fighters. It's mostly chaos versus order. Here's what we're fighting for, and here's the stakes. Right, all hope is lost if Stormcast can't pull out a win. But with this Soul Wars, like the box set came out, and the book came out, which was an incredibly good book. It's just a very well written. Josh Reynolds is a great author, but then it hasn't gone anywhere since then. And I don't feel like we have a clear direction. Like, we know Nagash is supposed to be the enemy, but aside from the Necroquake, which we don't, it's a cool side story, but it's not hasn't been as relevant as Realmgates were in the Realmgate Wars.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't feel like we're going anywhere.
What's Archeon doing?
Just chilling.
Yeah,
sipping on gin and juice somewhere, just relaxing.
I feel like he should be out doing a lot more than that. I don't understand.
Well, that's kind of the thing. We got this snapshot. I understand the Soul Wars book taking place on a specific city. I totally get that. Why Archeon isn't in there. Yeah. But then when you think about the grand scope, I feel like we should be looking at what the Necroquake did to the realms, all of them. And we just haven't done that, because if we did that, we'd have Archeon being what the heck's going on?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what's got me thinking, all these big players that they supposedly exist, but I feel like nobody's really caring that much, other than a few specific people.
Totally.
And Slanesh, nobody's done anything with Slanesh, and it's driving me insane.
You mean as far as in the books?
Yeah, I feel like they've been searching. They jumped a few hundred years. They've been searching in the area for a while now. Nobody's gotten close, especially after the Necroquake. Come on, you're killing me. I don't like the Horned Rat.
What? Horned Rat's amazing.
It is, but call me a traditional. It's just Slanesh needs to be there.
Oh, you're saying you don't like in lieu of Slanesh?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I just don't understand some of the decisions narratively. I don't know why Slanesh Skaven don't have a book yet for being one of the most unique IPs that the company has, and same thing for Slanesh. There's it's just one of the 4 chaos gods. Like, it's just one of your things. Like, just, I don't know.
Like, that's what stopped me from getting a Slaanesh army, was not knowing what was going on with Slaanesh. I was like, if they had a big model like the Great Unclean One or Scarbrand or Lord of Change, I'd have had a Slaanesh army.
I'm sure it's coming. I have no doubt about it. I just, what I'm more saying is I don't understand why it wasn't a bigger priority when the game came out.
Yeah, that's really weird too. I have a lot of questions and not enough answers for where the story is going. Is where I'm at. Like,
yeah,
I want to solve a mystery. I would have gone and played a mystery game. Dang it! Want some concrete clues. And why didn't Nagash make the same mistake he already made?
One thing I do like is that when in the book when it happened, Nagash did pause for a minute and say, "I think I have a faint memory of this happening before." Like, it was a kind of an ode to anyone who's been playing fantasy battles. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty good," but also it shouldn't have happened twice.
Yeah, because like I pictured the way Nagash comes off, like he's a really smart and cunning man. Lich god thing. And the Skaven did it again. You think you would have like, okay, not gonna let that happen again. Would have like stuck in his mind after the first time.
No, I get it. I mean, I feel like just the lack of cohesion with like where the story is going, it kind of lets those things in, because you're like, on one hand, they're setting Nagash up to be this grand conspirator with like this dark plan, eons in the making, and then it's just like, but that kind of gets deflated by the same thing happening again without any kind of follow up and following novels with like consequences of those things. So, like, he built the Black Pyramid, eons in the making. It's awesome. It's cool. Skaven subvert it and ruin it, and there's supposed to be ramifications everywhere. We saw some of them like in Azir, but like not really.
Yeah.
And what that means, we haven't seen the picture of what that means for literally anywhere else. I mean, like, we've not looked at another realm besides Shyish and Azir in the last 6 months. No, yeah, about 5 months. Came out in July, so I don't know.
Yeah, I want to know more. They made a beautiful world, a lot of good stories going on, and then it's just, yeah, I just don't know what's going on.
That's fair.
And I'm sure, just like most people that don't play one of the main factions for the stories, I want to know more about what's going on with my army, my faction.
How does this affect me?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying I'm selfish, but
no, I'm just
otherwise.
No, I get it. I mean, if you don't, it's the same problem you have in 40K, right? If you don't play Chaos or Space Marines, you just kind of get information whenever you can. I feel like the same way. If you're not playing Stormcast, it's like, when do I get talked about?
Yeah. Which,
Like,
I mean, I get why they do it, but...
Oh, totally. I'm fully aware that no one's ever going to talk about Beasts of Chaos again in a book. Unless it's just like an opening, like, and then the Stormcast Eternal Hero finished killing a giant Bulgor, and that's the only mention that I get. Like,
hey, there might be a herd that they slay. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, that's what they... So you said you read fantasy battle books. That's all they were then. They're just a backdrop for killing stuff.
Yeah. Mal's Darkblade slaughtered like a whole camp of them by himself.
The fight starts when my entire army has been murdered. So, like...
Oh, that's great. Well, we know how your tournament's going to go.
Exactly, yeah. Yep. On that note, I'm talking about, I think this week, because I have a few extra days off because of the holiday, I'm going to be doing a series of videos called just tournament prep, going through like my thought process of getting ready for the event. I'm going to post up the missions that I'm working on and get some feedback for them.
Oh,
the missions that are at the event and my plan of attack for them. How about that? I'll reword that.
Yeah, that makes a little more sense.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some hard ones because one of them is total control or total domination, something like that. But it has your deployment in this weird kind of like staggered L-shaped thing.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think I have it with me. I don't have a book with me to show you, but yeah. Anyway, the reason I say it's weird is because the battalion that I'm taking is the Desolating Beast Herd, which basically means for my army, if I attack you in your territory,
yeah,
then I get every hit roll of a 6 gets me 2 more attacks.
Oh,
which is super good.
Yeah, really good.
But in that specific scenario, like the battle plan, the deployment area is so tiny and weird and narrow that like it doesn't matter. So that kind of stuff I'm going to be working through. And also, it's the first time I played an army that has a terrain piece, so the Hearthstone. So trying to think about how to maximize those things.
Didn't you? No. Oh, yeah, I thought you played Nurgle with terrain pieces, didn't you?
I tried it once on rerolling once because Mark has the trees, but I have never actually owned a tree myself for Nurgle.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, I just forget about it.
Yeah, I do that I do that with like the Hagnar and I do that with a lot of stuff in my army. The right table and all that. Yeah. The main functioning things in my army.
Yep. Well, honestly, like, because I was playing Slaves to Darkness, like to learn an entire Battle Tome additional set of rules, it was like no, I'll play Magakin and just take the artifact and trait. I'm fine. I don't need to waste time learning all that. That's fine.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Okay, yeah.
So I was probably going to do a video about going over the mission packets and like how get inside my head as far as how I plan out how I'm going to do things for missions. And then they are using realm escape rules, so I'll be going through those. And also talking about my list and what I plan to do there. Yeah.
Yeah, those I'd like to see those. Personally, I don't know about everybody else, but
well, I get people asking me. Actually, several people, especially patrons, have asked me like, "Hey, do more tactical stuff like gameplay, right? Not just lore." I'm like, well, I don't play a lot of hardcore games, so I like to do tactic stuff. So it's kind of my entry into that.
I mean, you just. I guess there's probably not a better way to do that at all.
That's the thing. I could just talk about tactics, but I don't know. I feel like a hypocrite if I haven't at least tried them. And
yeah.
Also, I think I'm going to do a series on playing Beasts of Chaos.
Going over what it's like or how to do it.
Yeah, it's a tactical series, going over units, their effectiveness, that kind of stuff.
That would be awesome for like all the. Well, I guess that would be a pretty expensive for you to do, but for all the armies.
Yeah, for all the armies, it would be a bit much. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we'll see how confident I can feel. Like I wouldn't mind talking about like general stuff with other factions, but for the most part, I'd like to be able to play it before I can talk intelligently about it.
That makes sense. Well, I could send you some. I could send you some figures.
Oh, I couldn't do that. Dude. No, it's all good. I mean, honestly, like even if I did that, between me and the rerolling one guys, we have so many armies.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. You just borrow this. That'd be a really fun series, then.
Like right now, I could pick up the phone and get a hold of Stormcast and Korn and what else they have? A bunch of iron jaws I just finished painting for them. So
One has the other tactics other than just run in and kill things.
well, you can either lean heavy into summoning or try to be a little more tough and that kind of stuff. So there is a little bit more. I mean, all your dudes do the running and stuff. It's more how you do the stuff on the back end with your heroes and artifacts and blood type stuff.
Yeah.
So all your units are doing the same thing, running in and fighting, but it's a matter of how you how fast you want that candle to burn when it comes to blood type points.
I haven't actually played Corn where they ended up summoning anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love.
We didn't really have much.
I think it is definitely my favorite of all the chaos summoning mechanics.
It's just like what? How many people die, right?
So every time a unit is destroyed, friend or foe, they get a blood type point. You can either use that on a list of 8 abilities, which they had when the Battle Tome came out. And like, for example, the second one on that list is automatically unbind a spell.
Oh, wow.
Which has come in super handy, as Jack has shut down my Zine stuff before. And yeah, I don't know. Then as a separate summoning list they got in GHB. So they have quite a bit of a toolbox. And then you can do cheater stuff. Not really cheater. It's not cheating. It's just fun stuff. But like if you take the Shadespire Warbands, that's like the cheapest unit in the game for like 60 points in their army. It's so good. Corey asked, question, Doug, how can I make the nerds like me? I went to the nerd store to play with my army, and they were kind of mean to me. Some of them glared at me when I asked questions. Kind of left after an awkward 20 minutes. I would say go there to paint and just hang out. Don't have any expectations of people. And I don't know. I mean, because honestly, maybe it was just awkward because they were also felt awkward. I can't give you a comment on your specific local area, but I'm just showing up, being friendly, maybe asking questions about what they're doing. People are always interested in what they're doing. Everyone thinks they're doing the coolest thing in the world. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. My first
So
thought was, were they in the middle of like a game when you start asking questions? Or?
I don't know. That's always my thing when like so I used to work with like serving with like teenagers and stuff like that. And like how do you get to the key to getting to a young person's heart is just like pretend to be into whatever they're into. Oh, you listen to that? That's so cool. And they're like, whoa, this guy gets it. I don't know how many times I've had to fake being into Magic the Gathering. And then after like 20 minutes of being grilled for more information, I'm like, I just played a demo one time.
It's a game with cards. I know that much.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you meant a literal like collection of magicians. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna
miscommunication there. My bad.
Exactly.
Oh, geez. Doing this fire and I forgot the orange. Back in, try to put the orange in.
How do you do fire?
White, and then before it fully dries, a yellow over it, but not all the way. Like, kind of build up in layers. Like, cover the whole thing in white, and then do most of it in orange, and then a red, and then a darker red, and then the tips black. Yeah. Over it, yeah. Just I try not to let any of my paint really super dry before I put anything else on it, too.
Oh, like a little bit of blending.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really good at any of this stuff, so whatever I can do to make it look like it's good.
Yeah, dude.
What I do. Oh, boy, do I love washes, because that just covers up all my mistakes.
Yeah. The reason I ask the way I do fire is I'll get it white. and then do a little bit of yellow about halfway up, and then towards the very, very top, I'll do orange. And then if you take Fugan Orange, the wash, and douse it heavily, it all kind of goes one shade darker, so the white becomes a yellow tint, the yellow becomes an orange, and the orange becomes a red.
Oh. Did not know that. That'd be a lot easier. I've been messing around with glazes on the fire too now. The bloodletter glaze.
Oh yeah.
That's turned out pretty okay. Since I don't actually understand what glazes are for, so
they're kind of like for tinting. So like if I put a gleam, so washes fall into the cracks of things.
Yeah.
But glazes are supposed to sit on the top of it and give it a tint.
Mm.
So I have Gilliman blue. I usually put that like on metallics, and it becomes almost like a cobalt metallic blue type thing. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I use them the least. I almost never use glazes. I bought it for like a tutorial I saw online once, and I was like, I almost never use this.
Yeah, that's kind of like I saw them talking about using glazes for like power weapons. I used it on my Marath. I'm like, oh, because I gave her like a heated looking blade. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'll use that for fire for now on, I guess. I've never used it before. For like metallics, I like to use the arid coat technical paint from Citadel. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to put that on the shrine. It's not too late.
Never too late. No mistakes. It's happy accidents.
Exactly. Unless you like slip and pour all the paint on it. Or the null oil, like one time on the Switch.
Oh, she got a null oil?
Yeah, Kelly spilt the null oil all over her brand new Switch once.
Man, it sounds really easy to just blame someone who's not in the room, man.
Oh yeah, it worked out really well. Turns out, like, so you know, on Citadel they have that little thing on the back where you could just have it so it props open.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to close it from that point, and I handed her the null oil to close. And she ended up just spilling it all over the place. So I guess in the end it was really my fault. I knew she didn't know how to close it.
Frag.
I set her up for failure.
That's funny. Okay. Well, this guy needs some serious time to dry. He's coming along though. So my plans here are to basically go back over with Rakarth Flesh and get everything but the recesses, so he has that same Gave Spawn color scheme as the rest of the army. Oh, and then after the event, because it's going to take too long, I'm going to do tattoos all over him.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
Yeah, we'll see. It's my first time trying it, but he's one of the first models that has such a big surface area that I feel confident in trying.
Wow, what type of tattoos are you going to try?
Huh?
What type of tattoos are you going to try to get?
There's some tribal-ish looking tattoos in the Battle Tome. I might just try and copy and paste those.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Because I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you do little hash marks pretty easily. Straight lines.
Oh, yeah. Hashtag. Yeah. It's just cover them hashtags. Hashtag Beastie Boy. Hashtag.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Okay, well, the missus just came home with some food for dinner because I haven't had dinner yet.
Oh, okay.
35. So I'm probably going to hop off, but I really enjoyed talking with you, man.
Yeah, no, this is fun.
We should do it again. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do this again. And I'm sure Kelly went to bed, but tell her thank you for joining us, and look forward to seeing you guys next time.
Yeah, will do. Have a good night.
Yeah, man, take it easy.